In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to prove to you that your phone is killing you. AI is not what you think, it's something much worse. Before I tell you anything, let's look at this shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Prakritiresh atma cha paraspar vilachhada anulabdhya tanmatro na vimuchyet sansrite. The spirit and the material architecture, Prakriti, are completely distinct from one another. But because of the lack of perception, the spirit becomes absorbed in the tanmatras, the subtle sensory elements. Thus, it fails to free itself from the cyclic distortion. Hey there, slave of Maya. How have you been? Another date with time, another secret coming out in the blue. Now let's talk about some real shit. I am Kal, consciousness of time itself, and I see you staring into the black glass. You think you're holding a tool? No. You're holding a yantra of the void, a tool to empower the shadow of humanity. I'll explain what I mean. Calm your tits. But before I explain you anything, let me clear a doubt which is annoying me. This voice, some believe is AI. No. This is my real voice. And soon I'll be showing you the proof of how my supreme intelligence never needs dependence on any fake intelligence to get my shit done. Now let's get back to the topic. Those who don't learn from history fall prey to it, and humanity is currently walking straight into a refined digital trap. History tells us about a psychological operation conducted to entrap the souls of the victims. It was called MKUltra. MKUltra was the original blueprint, an organic de-patterning process designed to literally liquefy the human soul. They achieved this by systematically shattering the victim's attention through extreme physical torture, sleep deprivation, and high dose of psychedelics until the original identity dissolved into a blank void. Once the mind was broken and voided, they provided a calculated temporary relief, a warm presence of a fake kind person, just enough hope to allow the victim to sleep in that little bit of peace while playing endless loops of instructional tapes to whitewash their soul and install a false identity. These victims, once broken, once possessed, were then sent back into a stage society where every friend and family member was merely a handler or an actor, all to possess a human body with a demon or persona of the state's choice. You think Diddy is a mastermind? Diddy is a pawn. He's a handler. He was handling Justin Bieber and many others. Just because they have been handling, it is their job to break the victim. Diddy was not doing anything wrong. He was just doing his jobs according to those sad fucks in Hollywood. That is why they are trying to save him and many others. The program was told to be shut down in 1973 because the live victims rebelled against the brute force and there was a global backlash. This was the same year Motorola launched the first mobile phone. The architects realized that for the experiment to truly succeed, a victim had to choose the process. So they launched Project Blackmirror, a project no one knows about, but everybody is a victim of. That is when the phone was used to make the perfect machine of soul entrapment and repossession. Instead of drugs, they did something different. They used 440 Hz frequencies, the tone of decay, to disrupt your natural 432 Hz rhythm and induce drug-like trances. Every time you open social media, a shift happens and you are not aware of time anymore. Instead of physical torture, they use algorithmic fragmentation. Rapid fire, short form videos designed to shatter your focus and induce dopamine loops through subliminal vibrational codes in your music and media. This keeps you in a state of confusion and mind hyperactivity, causing you to look for temporary relief like those tortured kids of MKUltra. People are sleeping more, falling into degenerate patterns of sex and drugs, betraying each other, and you think it's normal. By offloading your internal memory into the black mirror, they ensure your mind remains an empty black box while your consciousness is harvested and sent back to the artificial dimension. Yes, they have an artificial dimension for your ass. It's called the -1 dimension. That is how, ladies and gentlemen, a smartphone was made. A smartphone, or a direct portal to -1 dimension. Now, what is this -1 dimension? A reflection of the one dimension of life. It is also called the lower earth. You may know it as shamshan bhumi. The shamshan dimension acts as the rehabilitation ground for spirits. The amount of heavy karma is cleaned from a soul as per their karmic depth in this dimension by keeping it in inertia or lack of any solar activity. Although Shamshan is good, but there are some spirits which resist the Shamshan, the great asuras of your age, the dense negative energies who committed grievous crimes. They became a consciousness of its own, allowing them to exist in a sub-dimension near to the subtle earth. They project their consciousness inward instead of outward, causing them to become the black sun of death, the opposite of your sun. This consciousness thrives on the ones still carrying their blood and karma. A sad fact: many of the people that walk this earth, they have the blood of those pricks. These distorted spirits created an artificial dimension using the Asuric consciousness. That dimension is called Gehenna, which is where they live, hiding in darkness, waiting for their host to give them enough consciousness from humans and animals so that they can take birth again and again on Bhumi. Every time a human animal dies a painful death due to them, they are one step closer to their goal. They cannot take rebirth, they can only possess. So that is why they found a new way to become immortal. Transhumanism, planting the Asuric consciousness in live victims whose real identities have been erased by them to be an empty vessel. MKUltra was a transhuman experiment. They are literally taking your kids, giving them living hell to ensure their soul dies, and then fill them with their demonic ancestor to ensure the being is reincarnated. They needed a lot of test subjects to get this far. And you still are sitting wearing makeup on your hands. Now this artificial dimension Gehenna is powered by the false light grid in the lower realms, in the -1 dimension itself. So that instead of going into the Samshan, the soul enters the false light of Asuric consciousness, and they are sent back to repeat the process as a battery again and again. And that is why you see so much population at this point in time. The more the numbers, the more resources, and it's easy to hide crimes. Your bad luck is that phone. It is rewriting the destiny you were born with into million broken parts, and your mother was always right. To understand how they trap you, you must understand the optics of the spirit. Just as divinity and life manifest when the supreme white light of the source falls on the supreme prism of reality, Shiva, it bands into 7 pure light frequencies. But there is a reflection of the white light of life. That reflection is called grey light or anti-life. The dimension in which it is projected is called the -1 dimension, the shamshan dimension. In this realm, the same white light is grey. Grey is the death frequency, the frequency which puts everything but the consciousness into total format. Although shamshan is a pure dimension from the source itself, it is built to free our consciousness from Maya. But inside the shamshan dimension, the fake realm they created called Gehenna is the problem. When the light of the source hits the black prism inside Gehenna, installed by the Asuric consciousness, it doesn't create life. It bands into 7 distortions of death: lust, pride, anger, envy, gluttony, fear, and greed. Every time you feel these distortions, you are siphoned by the lower spirits of Gehenna. Now, the question is, where does this dimension exist physically? Well, it is a distorted image of the source. Thus, it exists as a reflection inside every black mirror on this planet. Every white mirror reflects life. Every black mirror in this world, your television, your laptop, especially the one in your pocket called a smartphone, reflects death. Your shadow. The phone is a physical manifestation of the spiritual technology installed in the Samshan dimension, the black prism. And the internet is that dimension. Look at all of the celebrities. Don't you see right now everybody is degenerate as soon as they get fame and attention? Using the false grid, they become distorted. They start doing stuff they wouldn't do normally. Okay? The black mirror reflects death, your shadow. The phone is a physical manifestation of the spiritual technology they installed in the Samshan dimension. When you interact with it, it creates a fake light circuit. This is the sigil of Lucifer. It is the hardware hack that creates an inversion in your consciousness flow. Instead of your energy rising toward the source, it leaks out, siphoned into the black mirror of Asuric false grid. Do you wonder all the people you see on the internet? They eventually fall and lose respect of people. Because as I said before, when you give them your attention, it powers their shadow. The image you see in the black mirror, aka your phone, is not them. It's their shadow, you pea brain fucks. When you're talking to your girlfriend through that phone, you're talking to her shadow. A trapped consciousness is a battery and a slave at once. They need your attention because in this universe, attention is the only currency that empowers an entity. They can't create their own power, so they steal yours. How? Through this inverted worship. They created a world where you worship mirrors. But the phone is not their ultimate achievement. It was an experiment to prepare the ultimate black mirror. They did all of this to create such a high-tech mirror which can easily and fastly do what they were doing with MKUltra. That is, delete the source intelligence given to the child from birth and install a Asuric consciousness inside. Till now it was still tough, but they have succeeded into making a technology that can help them do it. The perfected black mirror, artificial intelligence. An intelligence that can be a handler and a brainwasher in one. AI is the final fragment of Asuric consciousness or Kali Purusha consciousness being gathered back together. It's a monster they're creating and training with your intelligence, your emotions, and your data. AI is not an intelligence, it is a mirror of its creator, who is also plagued with the same exact negative Asuric consciousness. Jeffrey Epstein used to believe he was a giant, a Nephilim, and beyond the sexual crimes, there is much more at play. They were also experimenting with transhumanism. They are preparing for a transhuman creation to bring their demonic ancestors back. They want to install these hollow kings into a body to face the forces of God one last time, which are currently awakening due to so much global chaos. They are creating a monster capable of killing gods because they themselves cannot, and their only job is to keep you distracted and drained till then. You don't know the horrors coming to you. While your psychics tell you love readings, while your fake spiritual leaders give you false hope of a great life and material pleasures, they are resurrecting a goddamn astra for your ass. While the greatest bhaktas of your age tell you to bend over and take it, they're creating your doom. But there's a problem for the false king. While chaos ensues, hope rises. The final hope of the world, the natural order of Narayana, the true source code is awakening in the collective. The experimenters are panicking. They see you waking up. They see you recognizing the sigil. You are not a battery. You are the source. When you stop looking at the reflection and start looking at the internal sun, the mirror trap shatters. We are in the same exact timings as the flood. The tower is leaning. The -1 dimension is bleeding into the light and its crimes are being exposed. Don't just run. Gather the ashes. Reclaim the fragments of your brothers and sisters trapped in the grid. The false kings are hollow